at West Aurora High School in Aurora, Illinois. This is Neil Ormond, along with Steve Solars, Dick Schindel, and Rick Albright here on the broadcast of the 128th renewal of the oldest rivalry in football in the state of Illinois between East Aurora and West Aurora. We welcome you on the Aurora Community Television Station and also the National Federation of High School Sports, the NFHS Sports Network, on tonight's broadcast, as these two teams are meeting for the 128th time. And it's a beautiful night for football here at West Aurora. We did not have a sophomore preliminary because the two schools agreed that because East did not have enough players to play a sophomore game, with several being up on varsity, the East Aurora sophomores that they did have, along with freshmen, took on the West Aurora freshmen last night, and West Aurora defeated East by 2 touchdowns for the underclassmen. The crowd coming in tonight, as we have an earlier start than we normally have. We normally have a 7:30 start, but with the absence of that sophomore game, we're going to get this one underway here at about 6 o'clock. And the West Senior Night celebration is going on the field, where the parents of our senior football players, Poms, the cheerleaders, are all being introduced to the crowd. Their parents recognized for their efforts of supporting the high school athletics. West Aurora has over 700 athletes in the fall programs, and they've had a very successful year so far. During the night, we'll be talking about a little of the successes that they have had. But right now, we're focused on the football teams of these two teams. Alongside me is Steve Solars, who is an author, in addition to being a statistician and color man on our NFHS broadcasts of the West Aurora games for the last 10 years or so. And Steve, you've become a real expert on the history of this rivalry, which really captures the history of the city of Aurora in many respects. So give us some of the highlights that you found from your resource.
Well, it certainly does reflect the town itself, and it's just very integrated into the history. You know, in the very beginning, early days, the 1800s, there was a very much a east side of the river, west side of the river rivalry. Long before 1893, when football started, and then football became a big part of that rivalry, more of a legitimized the rivalry more than some of the other things that used to go on. And you know, and throughout the years, it's and it continues to be, I think, a big part of the town, at least for the longtime residents, and I think the students as well. Of course, much of the luster has worn off in the last 30 years, or since the late 80s, when both schools really kind of lost their competitive edge in the surrounding area. You know, more recently, the West has won 31 of the last 34 meetings between the two, but nonetheless, it still continues to be a big part of the fabric of Aurora.
Well, over the years, Steve, because East and West were two of the largest high schools in the state, and still are to this date, they had some of the finest athletic teams, and they really dominated in some of the years. And before the Illinois High School Association crowned an official state champion from their perspective, the media, the newspapers, would try to identify who the best teams were in the state, and schools would modify their schedules so that they were able to take least 4 years. We had both East and West individually were state champions in 2 of those 4 years. And East even went out to a national game in New York, as I recall, in 1915, I believe it was.
1915, that's correct. Also, in 1914, West had a phenomenal team. Oak Park High School was declared national champions, however they declared that, or however they determined that. But West had made several overtures to Oak Park to play a game in 1914, and Oak Park dodged them. They just refused to schedule a game.
That was not unusual, that some of the very good teams would try to dodge some of the better ones, so that by the end of the year they still had that undefeated record. But for those years around the 1914, 15, 16, so many players who were all-state went on to play major college roles in football, were from either East or West Aurora.
Yes, that's true. Even back to the 1890s, when Amos Alonzo Stagg had almost a pipeline of players from Aurora who would go to the University of Chicago and play for him.
Well, speaking of Coach Stagg, he was a great coach and official, and he would come out here and he would be contracted by the local schools to coach for 1 or 2 games. It seemed like they would come in just for an East-West game. It was that important to get that college coaching experience to help your young men.
He also refereed a few of those Thanksgiving Day games.
Right, I remember that. I wasn't around, but I remember reading your book. So tell us about the book that you wrote on it, Steve. I know it's become a sellout, but you put a lot of years into producing that book on the East-West rivalry, and it's become a real Bible.
It was published in 2013, and for a while it's been out of stock. It's available now at the Aurora Historical Society store, and they just got in the last couple of weeks they got a new supply. So if you're looking to pick it up, you can go downtown at the History Center gift shop, and there is a supply there. It's also available from the Historical Society online, as well as Barnes & Noble online. You can find it at a couple of random Barnes & Noble stores, but you're better off just going online. And Arcadia Publishing, which was the publisher of the book, they have it available online. Amazon does, and you can find copies of it new and used on eBay.
A lot of interesting pictures as well as text in there, and it's as I said, has all of the statistics from the beginning of the rivalry up until when the book was published. And the last 10 years or so have been, as you said, a little bit one-sided in the fact that West Aurora has won all of the games. Overall, this is the 128th game. West Aurora has won 67 of those games. And back in the early days when they did not have tiebreakers, there were 11 or 12 ties along the way.
So the book contains lists of every game between East and West. Also every game that both schools played. Conference standings from 1915, I think, no, 1916 and through the end of the book. Every year, the conference standings. So it is chock full of information.
Well, I know it was a labor of love that you spent several years producing, and our community is grateful for all of your hard work to gather those statistics. Well, 2 gentlemen who have participated in East-West athletic contests over the years and have been involved in coaching. We've got 2 of the longest running coaches here, Dick Schindel, who went to East Aurora High School, and Rick Albright, who went to West Aurora High School. So, gentlemen, give us your thoughts as a coach, as a student, player, what it's like to be in the East-West rivalry?
You go ahead, Rick.
Well, I'll tell you, it broke my heart when the rivalry was discontinued for a few years, and I'm just overjoyed they're back playing. And if there's a high school football season, there ought to be an East-West game somewhere, sometime. And we've seen a lot of great athletes on both sides. Watch them continue their education in college after that. Seen some nail-biters, some blowouts, but it is the East-West game, and the kids respect that.
It never gets old, gentlemen, as you well know. And as they say, you can throw out the records with games like this between rivalries. But in reading some of the things about the players this year and their feelings about this game, it could very well be 20, 30, 40 years ago, okay? I mean, reading a nice story in the Beacon today about Ortiz, a young man,
yes.
Plays for East Aurora. And he wants to go and be a welder, underwater, submarine welder. I can't even imagine that. But no, the point is that this means a lot to him, and it means a lot to the players on the east side. They know what it means. People have told them that. And they want to come out and show. And of course, as an East Sider, I hope they do well tonight. And time will tell, but we'll see. So it's a great event. It's historic, and I'm glad to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
One of the interesting things I think about an East-West football game is that people who went to school on one side of the river frequently end up living on the other side of the river, and they've got grandchildren or nieces and nephews. So many relatives have played in this series that it's a great talking point when families do get together.
Well, last night we had the 80th Old Timers Association dinner. And
representing the East Aurora Old Timers.
Yeah, representing the East Aurora Old Timers. And I brought the little program here from last night. I thought Neil and anybody else might be interested in looking at that. But Steve Kenyon, his wife, do a tremendous job. And the committee of all the former players put that on. And I just have to mention that last night was the year 2000. And that was, my calculations correct, the last time
beat West,
and
right?
That was obviously mentioned more than once. And interesting enough, and this was a former student of mine who played on that team, and he is now residing on the west side, and I think he's doing some coaching on the west side. So sure, it goes both ways, and those roots of being a Tomcat will always be there. And he made that well known last night, and so did the other. We had 13 guys from that team, which is the most I have ever seen. So I told my wife when I got home, I said it really bodes well for the old timers to continue, because as far as I know, there's nothing else like that anywhere. So it's a tradition.
That is unique.
Yeah, it's a tradition that hopefully will be carried on by future generations, and future East-West games will be talked about.
Who started your Old Timers? Was that Coach Dufresne?
No. That was well before Dufresne. It had to be
Court?
Well, even before our Court's days, because this was in 45.
Oh, okay.
So this was after Thompson. And you know what? That's a good question, Rick. I should.
Steve will have the answer.
I can
for
tell
us.
you.
Oh, Steve. Well, how silly of us sitting here, and we've got the historian just to my right and Neil's right, and of course he will tell us.
Right.
Good question. Good cue. Good question.
We're getting ready for the start of tonight's ball game in about 15 minutes, but because this is an hour earlier than normal, I think a lot of fans were not aware that we were starting this game at 6 rather than 7.
I wasn't aware of that. We go on the computer this morning, and I'm looking up something else, and in fact, I had to call West High for something, and it said 6 o'clock varsity game, and I went,
Yep.
what?
Well, and the reason was that they agreed to play
Yes, okay.
a freshman, West freshman against the East sophomore team. Numbers again a problem for
Sure.
East this year.
Well, you know what, was it last year, Neil, or was it 2 years ago or at East, whenever we inaugurated the artificial surface, that was the East-West game, and it was the only game that night too.
Right.
I kind of like this. This is, makes it very, very special.
Puts the focus on the
Yes,
varsity
it does.
teams. And right now, East is on the field. They'll be wearing the white jerseys tonight with the red pants, red and black numerals and trim, while West Aurora is in the navy blue uniforms, both shirts and pants with the red helmets. These two teams come into it with almost the opposite records. East Aurora is currently 2 and 5, and West Aurora is at 5-1 with a forfeit win because Larkin last week didn't have enough players to fill out a varsity lineup, and so West did not play at all. They didn't learn about it from Larkin until Wednesday of the week, and they tried to get another game, but no other teams had an open night, and so they get a forfeit win, which technically goes down as a 1-0 victory and hurts their offensive and defensive numbers, but nevertheless it is a win, and so West at 5-1 has become playoff eligible, and East at 2-5. One of those two wins was the victory that they got over Larkin for a forfeit. After the fact, on the field, Larkin won it. I think it was 39-34, and apparently they used an ineligible player for Larkin, and that just came to light within the last week and a half. And so East now officially has 2 wins. Their other win came the first game of the year against the Maine West.
Maine East.
Maine East, not Maine West.
That's the Steve's alma mater. Sure,
he let you know that real quick, didn't he? You know what, in regards to that forfeit with Larkin, I talked to Coach Kukoc last week, and I wasn't aware of the fact, and I'm not sure too many people were.
No, it wasn't publicized at all, and the reasons given were a little bit nebulous, but they said, well, we didn't have enough players anyway. Well, we won the game. If you're a Larkin player, you did win the game on the field, but apparently there were some ineligibility issues.
Yes. And coach from Larkin called and explained the situation, and he said, Coach, I'll be more than happy to bring that Thunder Bucket, which is a trophy that traveled between East and Larkin. And Coach Kukoc thought a second and said, no, Coach, you won on the field, you keep that trophy. So it was obviously a surprise, but East Aurora in that game lost it in the very last minute of the game. They went ahead, East went ahead on a 30-yard field goal, and then Larkin got the ball and then proceeded to march down the field and then score the winning touchdown. So it was a good football game, and as Coach Kukoc said, that you won on the field and you keep that Thunder Bucket.
Well, the East roster in the program tonight indicates that the Tomcats have 34 players in uniform, while West Aurora has 73 listed on their roster. They have 6 levels of football here at West, and in addition they have a football academy for the youngsters. The young people are over 250 young people who are participating, both boys and girls. And speaking of girls, the West Aurora girls flag football team, which is in only its 2nd year, again had a great season. They finished with a 21-3 record and lost in the sectional championship to Willowbrook, the favorite to win the state this year. And the girls flag football program has really in 2 years gotten a place of respectability around the state.
Very much so.
So that the West folks really have got some large numbers out, and as you know as a former coach, Dick, the more numbers you have, the better it makes your program.
Competition, name of the game, competition.
I thought it was kind of interesting in the paper today that Ortiz, East Aurora quarterback, right?
He's the running back.
Running back. He played with the Blackhawk youth football.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, his cousin is playing for West.
Yeah.
His cousin he intends to talk to on the field, I'm sure, more than once. More than once, which, again, what makes this game very interesting.
Yeah.
That you've got families who cross over for one reason or another. And so, anyway, go ahead, Coach.
No, that's all I was going to comment on. That there's another tie there, another cross contact, with Ortiz attending the Blackhawk youth football camp as a youngster with his cousin.
Well, that's good.
So I just want to.
I think Aurora is a city of so many resources, and in the old days there were some rivalries that got pretty tough. I think in recent years, cooler heads have prevailed, and both sides, while it still is a rivalry game, do want to help each other. And I know a lot of alumni of West will say, well, I did go to West and I'm a West fan, but I sure hope East wins some games in football this year, as long as it's not against us.
Understood.
I just want to put a bow on the earlier conversation. In 1945, East coach was the one and only Joe Mays.
Oh, yes. I know, Joe. Sure.
Oh, I got a phrase that I won't repeat on the air, guys. That was infamous of Joe Mays. Okay?
His wife, Thelma, was a teacher at West Aurora.
Oh, see, there you go.
That's another connection.
There you go.
Well, we're getting
That
set
was
for
also Ken Zimmerman's second year.
second year. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, let's take a look at the starting lineups that we're going to be seeing in action tonight, since we're just minutes away from the kick to start things off. West Aurora at 5-2 on the year, and they've won every one except one game against South Elgin in the conference. They'll be starting one of the finest quarterbacks in the state of Illinois, who's already committed to Ball State, Mason Atkins. He's a 6'3", 210-pound senior, and Atkins has already had another great season. Last year he completed 72% of his passes. He's thrown for 927 yards and 12 touchdowns this year with only 3 interceptions. So he will be operating at quarterback for the third straight year he's starting. His running back will be Bryce Riley, a 5'7", 165-pound junior. And Riley has also been an offensive leader. He leads them in rushing with 407 yards and receptions. And he's also the second highest scorer for West. The explosive all-purpose back, Lesroy Tittle, whose father was a great athlete, football player and track star, transferred back to West. He'd gone to middle school here, then went away to Nazareth Academy for 3 years, came back this year, and he leads West in receiving yards with 279 yards per reception, and also in yards per carry at 13.9, and with touchdowns, and he scored 13 of those. So Lesroy Tittle, who plays 4 different positions for the Blackhawks this year, including a wide receiver, is a 6'2", 215-pound senior, and looking to go to Illinois next year. The other wideouts will be Antonio Higgins, a 6'1", 170-pound senior. Also Van Pryor, 6'2", 200-pound junior, will operate at one of the wideout positions, and Richard Bell, a 6'3", 170-pound junior, will also. They'll alternate 5 or 6 different players at the wide receiver position. And 2 of the others that you'll see in action are Liam Norris, a 6'1", 175-pound senior, and Zach Toma, a great baseball player, 6'2", 195, a senior. Brandon Salek has come on recently, and he will play both offense and defense tonight. He's a 6'2", 200-pound junior. The interior line for the Blackhawks: the East running back. Alfonso is 6'2", 260. And alongside them will be Jaden Chavez, starting center all year. He's 6 foot, 230 pounds, and he is just a junior. The left guard will be Alex Soto for the Red and Blue, 6'1", 225, and he is a junior. So the Blackhawks have 6 seniors and 5 juniors in that starting lineup on offense. For East Aurora's offense, they'll be led by Joseph Becker at quarterback. The program does not give us any heights or weights or years on these East players. We apologize for that, but they have a small but mighty unit with, as we said, 34 players on the team this year. Along with Becker in the backfield, Jonathan Ortiz, the senior that we've been speaking about tonight, who's got a cousin on the west side and went to the West Aurora Football Academy. He's been their leading scorer. Also playing the slot backs and wide receivers will be Alexander Reyes and Jared Seniceros. The tight ends will be Diego Valenzuela and Javon Ingram. The tackles will be Ever Cisneros and Jaime Velasquez Gutierrez. The guards will be Christian Augustin and Victor Torres, and the center will be Roman Cepeda. That's the way East will go on offense. Defensively, the Blackhawks will open with a 4-down lineman set, 3 linebackers. The starters will be Fawaz Al Hassan, 6'1", 235, a senior, at one defensive end. The other defensive end will be Lesroy Tittle, we talked about, who will play on offense a lot also. He's 6'2", 215, a senior. They will be spelled by Kieran Duncan, a defensive tackle, 6'2", 230, a senior, who played for 3 years as a starting guard, including this year, but now they are having him concentrate on defense at the tackle spot. And the other tackle will be James Roundy, 5'9", 210-pound senior, converted from running back this year. So those are the starters for the Blackhawks defensive line. The 3 linebackers, and there are 3 good ones, will be Kellen Uni, 6 foot, 205-pound senior, Will Gray, 6'3", 210, a senior, and Darius Stewart, 5'11", 185, junior. And they all average between 7 and 8 tackles per game. So they've been outstanding this year. The cornerbacks will be Jaden Garcia, 5'9", 150, a senior, and Van Pryor, 6'1", 160, a senior. The strong safety back after injuries in the first quarter of the game of the year. West suffered 4 serious injuries, and they're just getting Bryce Uni back. This is his first start since that first game of the year. Bryce is a twin brother, one of the linebackers. Bryce is 6'4", 180, a senior. And the other safety will be Brody Carragher, a 5'10", 150-pound senior. And Devin Farmer will see a lot of action. He leads West with 2 interceptions this year. He's 5'9", 165, a sophomore. So that's the way they'll go defensively. They start 2 juniors and 9 seniors. Their line averages 219 pounds. The linebackers 200, and the defensive backs 160. For East, when West has the ball, they'll have 4 down linemen who are Trey Green, Christopher Johnson, Isaiah Fulton, and Cristobal Rios. The 3 linebackers in the middle will be Alexander Svoboda, and the outside backers will be Cairo Geneseros and Jonathan Ortiz, who is a 2-way starter for East. Cornerbacks will be Ivan Rivera and Alejandro Cuevas, and the safeties will be Samuel Zavala and Ulysses Barrera. And right now, to begin the pregame ceremonies onto the field come the 270 members of the West Aurora Marching Band with their pregame show. So let's listen in to the pregame concert.
This is the West Aurora alma mater.
Now the West Aurora alma mater.
We ask that you remain standing and kindly remove your hats as we honor America and our POWs.
And now our national anthem.
All members, past and present, with the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. Please face the colors that they are presented by our very own West Aurora Air Force JROTC Color Guard. The Blackhawk Color Guard this evening is comprised of the following cadets. On rifles, Mate Kinde and Desomi Esukalefe. Carrying the Illinois flag is Cadet Jonathan Hoskins. Proudly carrying the American flag and serving as commander is Tristan Kaiser. Leading the band tonight, we welcome special guest from East Aurora High School, band director Brian Liska. We thank Mr. Liska for being here this evening to celebrate our historic rivalry and our friendly connection of music and culture in the great city of Aurora, Illinois. We invite you to join in the singing of our national anthem, led by tonight's vocalist, senior Blackhawk marching band member and West Aurora choir member, Karen McLear.
Our national anthem, concluding the pregame show by the West Aurora Pep Band. Fans are still streaming into Zimmerman Field here, Rick Albright. I think a lot of them not aware of the earlier start.
I wasn't, Neil. Until I talked to you earlier this afternoon. And the enigma that is East-West football, I just got a hug from one of the East Aurora coaches, not Coach Schindel here, Brandon Foster, who was a member of that 2000 state championship basketball team from West Aurora, who played quarterback for me at Jefferson, and now is coaching on the east side.
The east side of that typifies and represents what we've been talking about, how this is really a city-wide celebration. The West fans are getting close to filling up the stands right beneath us. We're high above the west side of the stadium. And East fans still trickling in over there on the other side. Not what we are normally expecting, because Steve, I remember back in reading your book that in 1909 we had like 15,000 people who came to Heard's Island Field down in the center of town, middle of the river, and that's where they played the East-West game up until 1920, when the Burlington Trestle was built and East developed their own field, which is now Roy E. Davis Field. That's where they played the East-West game up until 1926, when the West fans said that's not fair that we play all of the games on the east side. We should have our own field. And so they bought some cornfield out way far outside of town. People complained it was too far outside of town. Well, that's the site where we are right now. It's changed a little bit. We have artificial turf, stands, and a high school that was built in 1952 and 53 on this site. And the site continues to develop with the many athletic programs. West now with 27 different sports programs, and many of them for the girls, which we didn't have up until 1973, but now have become just as important as the boys. But the crowds in those days, Steve, were really something to behold, weren't they?
Well, I wasn't really there, but
your research showed.
But I often question some of those numbers that were reported in the Beacon. I mean, 15,000 crowded onto Heard's Island, and the city was only about 12,000 in population.
Well, you got to remember that the schools took students from what is now Batavia, St. Charles, and all of the farming communities around.
Compton Hills.
Yeah, they would ride their horses into school. I've heard some great stories about those days. At any rate,
I liked that because people would bring their wagons, their horse-drawn
down
wagons.
To the tally-hos, they were called.
And other people would try to spook the horses by throwing snowballs and getting them to run into the river.
Well, West won the toss, elected to defer, and so they're going to be kicking to East. Derek Sebluski is the kicker for West, a junior kicker who has kicked it into the end zone almost half the kickoffs this year. East with 2 men back on the 5-yard line as the kick is underway, and it's going to land midway in the end zone and bounces out. And so it's a touchback, and East Aurora will bring it out and take over possession on their own 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Dick Schindel, nowadays kickers for many of the high school teams have the leg strength to do that, don't they?
I was just going to make the comment that I wonder when the IHSA is going to move it back to the 35 like they have in college. Yeah. And even at the college level now, they kick them out of the end zone every time.
I remember talking to a soccer player coming out for football for
Armando
Navarro.
Yes.
Armando got a kicking scholarship to the University of Illinois and kicked one 50-yarder in high school.
Wow. Yeah. No, that's
in a
definitely
playoff game, right?
A thing of the future.
Game,
yeah. All right, he has it first. And the pitch by Becker, the quarterback, to the outside, and they swallow up Ortiz back near the 15. A loss of a couple. Let's see where they're going to put it down. They're going to give him forward progress out to maybe the 16, 17. Yeah, 17-yard line is where the second play for East.
East has had some success in running the ball, but it's going to have to be pretty much from tackle to tackle. I don't think they're going to be able to contend with the speed of the West linebackers.
That's a very good point, Dick, because that is one of the main strengths of this West defense is the linebacking core. They all are the top 3 tacklers. And the fake pitch up the middle, and the pass is incomplete, but almost intercepted by one of the defenders for West, who read it perfectly.
Looked like Pryor, Vangel Pryor.
Van Pryor, yeah. So it'll be 3rd down and 13. Line of scrimmage, the 13.
Well, you know that both schools have looked at film, okay?
Yes.
And I'm sure that they were well aware that that's one of the plays that East would try to run, and they had it very well covered on the outside.
So Becker, the junior quarterback now for the Tomcats, and head coach, co-coach, very high on this young man. Goes back to pass on 3rd and long, trying to run around the right side. He gets away from 2 men. He stops, and he's going to be buried. And you were just talking about the linebacking core and the defensive backs for West that really pursue.
Or he was trying, obviously, going to his left, and he's a right-handed quarterback. He was trying to square up to throw that ball downfield, but he just didn't have time, or the linebacker didn't give him time.
Darius Stewart, the linebacker.
Yeah, very
in on him and tried to throw it away. The line of scrimmage now is back to the 11-yard line, and it's 4th and 19 facing East. So their kicker comes in to do the punting, and
he got a good roll.
Got a good roll. Yes, he did.
So East on their first possession forced to kick it away.
Good field position for West here to start their first drive. It looks like it's going to be on about the 44-yard line of the Tomcats.
That was Giovanni Perez, the East kicker. So 1st and 10 for the Blackhawks. And they're going to put the ball down on the 44-yard line of the red and black. And the red and blue now take over for their first play of the game.
Yeah,
got 3 receivers on the left, 2 on the right, an empty backfield. Atkins lets fly with a long pass. He's got a man down there who catches it. Touchdown! First play of the game for West Aurora. And it's converted into a touchdown by Lesroy Tittle. He got a step or 2 on the defenders, and Atkins hit him perfectly.
He is so fast, Neil. He's got his dad's legs, and I saw him at wide out there, and that's one-on-one. I wonder if they're going to do that.
His 14th touchdown of the year. On 1st down, they hit him along.
Well, that was right on the money, as they say, and he had his arms outstretched, made that fingertip catch, and he was in the end zone. So talk about striking fast.
Derek Cebulski on to attempt the extra point. Snap is back, the kick is up, and the kick is perfect. And he remains perfect on the year. Steve, I think he's got something like 32 or 33 consecutive PATs.
It's in the 30s. I don't recall the number right now. But.
And only a junior, as he studied under the Roney brothers, who were the young men who kicked for West for a period of about 6 years.
How is the kicker, the Roney from last year, how is he doing at ISU? You hear it all?
I have not had any reports. I'm not sure.
I think he's redshirted. They actually have a pretty good kicker down there already. It's a
I think he did say that that's what they would probably do with him, but that young man could kick the football. So I wonder what the kicker they got at ISU was like if he's redshirted. Goodness.
So how far was that pass, Steve?
44-yard touchdown. It was a one-play, 44-yard drive. Cebulski's extra point was good. 7-0 in favor of West Aurora.
So Lesroy Tittle, who, according to some reports, is headed to the University of Illinois next year, collecting touchdown number 14 for him. And so to restart the game and kick it out of the end zone, we'll give it to East on the touchback, and they bring it out to the 20. One of the things that's so striking when you look at the stats, West's offense has been on the field only about a quarter of the time. They've had very few plays that they've run because they have been striking like lightning, just like that, in many of the games, and just not being able to run a lot of plays. And with the injuries in the early part of the season, that's when the 2 losses occurred. It was in the line. I think the line now is doing a much better job protecting Atkins to help that stat.
Tittle and Riley always seem to be the 2 fastest players on the field.
They're his main targets. So they're going to, and the fumble is loose inside the 15, but I think East fell on it. West disagreeing from the signs down on the field, but I think the official is going to say he blew it to a stop. I'm not sure. Was that a reverse coming up, Dick?
Yes, it was. It was, and I think he was looking downfield before he even had the football in his belly, so can't make those kind of mistakes.
Well, the line of scrimmage now will be back on about the 12-yard line. 2nd and 18 to go for the Tomcats. Becker at quarterback barking signals. He sends a man in motion from right to left. Snap to back to Becker, and he passes, and it's caught inside the 15, back at about the 18, but is swallowed up immediately by a couple of white shirts. So it will be a 3rd down and 12 to go situation for the Tomcats.
Diego Vasquez on the reception.
Yeah, he did a good job hanging on because he took a lick very quickly as soon as he caught it.
Gain of 6.
So now they've got 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. 1 running back next to Becker, the quarterback. He's going to move to his left. Now tries to cut it back up. He throws a shovel pass underneath and going to be completed for a couple yards. They needed 12 and might have picked up about 4 or 5. But it will be a 4th down and about 14 to go for the 1st down. Let's see if the punting unit comes on for East. Again, Giovanni Perez has done most of the punting this year for East. West will put 2 men back. Zach Thomas, the short man on the 45, and the deep man. And the punt's going to sail off the left of it, Perez's foot, and go out of bounds.
Right on the 50-yard line.
It's where it came to a stop, and it will be West Aurora taking over at the 50 now for their second play of the game. Blackhawks have taken a 7-0 lead here in the first 2 minutes of the contest. We are now at the 7:47 mark of the first quarter.
Well, I'm sure that was one of the ideas that Coach Kukok had hoped they would be able to do, is try to control the ball a little bit anyway to keep the offense off the field for West Aurora.
Well, they did complete 2 passes in that series.
Ate up a couple minutes.
Yep. So it's 1st and 10 for the red and blue. Here's a pitch to Riley, coming around the near side. One man to beat, cuts it to the outside. He's at the 30. One man to beat at the 20. And he's tackled inside the 5-yard line. Riley with about a 45-yard run downfield. And it's 1st and goal to go now for the red and blue.
That was just a little counter reverse inside. He broke it to the outside. No one was home.
Riley, a junior speedster, is the second highest scorer for West this year. Atkins back deep now to take it out of the shotgun, and East jumps offside. Did they throw a flag? Yeah, now they have thrown the flag, and it will move it, if it's against East, half the distance to the goal line. Yes, it is against East. Sometimes you're never sure whether they were drawn off by one of the linemen moving for the offense, but not that time apparently. The line of scrimmage will now move down to about the 2-yard line. So it's 1st and goal from that spot. Atkins going to give it off on the near side now and trying to sweep the right side unsuccessfully on the end around play.
Alexander Zaboda did a nice job.
Zaboda did a great job coming through there to knock the ball carrier down back near the 4. Loss of 2. 2nd and goal from that spot. So again, they have 2 receivers out wide to the left. A wing on the left also. Atkins going to take it himself, now run around the outside and throw the pass. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, West Aurora. Touchdown for the Blackhawks, as is that Riley who gathered it in, I believe, and he just made a little down and out, and Mason put it right on the money for him. And so the Blackhawks have scored again at the 6:28 mark of this first quarter. And the second pass for a touchdown by Atkins will raise his mark on the season. Officials are conversing down there. Going to call the touchdown good, but was there a penalty after it?
Yeah.
Against East.
Oh,
and a penalty against West, both ways, that nullify each other. So they count the touchdown. There was some jawing going down on the field by 2 of the linemen.
Well, that's an East-West game.
One for each side, yeah.
An old school East-West game.
It wouldn't have been an East-West game if there hadn't been a little bit of jawing going on. Talking a little smack. So the official saw it and threw the flag. So now Soblazuski is on to attempt the extra point. Out of the hold of Fecht, and his kick is up, and the kick is good. And he remains perfect and makes the score at the 6:28 mark. West Aurora 14, East Aurora nothing.
All right, so that was a 3-play, 50-yard drive. All the yards gained were by Bryce Riley. A 45-yard pass and run, and then a little 5-yard pass from Atkins to Riley. Extra point once again was good, and it is now 14-0 in favor of the Blackhawks.
So the Blackhawks have run a total of 4 plays and have 2 touchdowns to show for it.
And they've had a short field on both of those, so that helped a little bit, but I don't think that was all the factor by any stretch. They're definitely executing tonight for sure.
Well, they've got size and speed. Nice mix of juniors and seniors in that starting group on offense, along with Mason Atkins, the 3-year starter. So the kickoff this time is going to come down in the end zone and go out. And it's another touchback, 3 for 3 tonight in that department. And it'll be Tomcat ball now, starting at the 20-yard line.
Well, East has not been able to go wide on West and completed 1 pass for about 7-8 yards. And what they're going to do, they're going to have to do quick. That's for sure.
Now they've got 2 good defensive ends in there for West. And they move a linebacker in to help out on this play. And they're going to try the middle of the line, and he's hit behind the line of scrimmage and tossed back. And again with the ball was Jonathan Ortiz.
I'm sure Ortiz has got a big heart. He's only 5'7".
Oh, he does have a big heart. Coach Kukoc is so high on him and his work ethic. These kind of young men, you know, are going to be successful in life because they just have so many characteristics that not only help a football program but show their determination. So on 2nd and 11, they try the middle of the line, and this time they're going to get back up close to the 20, but not much more. This drive started at the 20 because of the touchback, and the ball is on the 20 now, and 3rd and 10 is facing the Tomcats. Again, if you're joining us just now, we had an early start because there was no sophomore game. East didn't have enough players, and so the West freshmen played those freshmen and sophomores that they did have, and last night, and West won the game. But they have just the varsity game tonight. And here's a quarterback draw. He throws a jump pass, and it's almost intercepted by one of the West linebackers over there. Becker started into the line and then jumped and fired a pass that was incomplete, and it will be 4th and 10, and the punting unit coming on the field for both teams now. Perez against the East kicker. This is his 3rd punt of the night, I believe. And West with Zach Toma. Lesroy Tittle. There's a kick. Just barely got it off before he was hit. And the punt's going to roll out of bounds just across the 40 near the 45. The West will have it again starting in East possession at the 45. Well, a lot more fans coming in for both sides. Not realizing that it was a 6 o'clock start rather than the normal 7.
Well, they did have it correct in the Beacon today when they had their little blurbs about 4 or 5 games in the area.
I'm not sure they highlighted that it was an hour earlier.
No.
So West has it with 3 receivers on the right, 2 on the left. Atkins gets the snap. He rolls to his right, looks, throws a pass, and it is caught and taken up for about a 9-yard gain, it looks like. And was that Tittle on the end of the
number 87?
Yep, 87. That's one of the tight ends for the Blackhawks, Brandon Salek. He is a junior. Also plays defensive end on defense, 6'2", 200. So make it 2nd and 1. from the 36-yard line. Atkins dropping straight back. Now he goes to his right. Going to fire back across the field. He's got a man wide open. Salek in the end zone. Catches it. Touchdown, West Aurora. So the Blackhawks score again on the second play of this drive, 6th play of the game, and they've got their 3rd touchdown. With 4:06 to play here in quarter number 1. West 3 for 3 on their possession. And so Blazewski will come on to attempt the extra point. Flat is the snapper. Fecht is the holder. And Derek Blazewski will be the kicker. Snap back, place down, kick up, and the kick is good. So they remain perfect in that department. And West adds to their lead with 4:06 to play. It's West Aurora 21 and East Aurora nothing. Steve?
All right, that was a 2-play 55-yard drive. The big pass, a 36-yard touchdown pass from Mason Atkins to Brendan Sala. The extra point was good. It's 21-0 in favor of West Aurora.
Well, you know what I think might, what West Aurora might work on here is their short passing game, Neil. Obviously, they can go deep, and that might be something that, again, you know, you can do that in practice all you want, but game situation's a little different.
Right.
So, and how much do they run the ball?
Very little.
Oh, well, then that explains why we haven't. Okay. But you know what?
There have been some games where they only had 8 or 9 carries on the ground.
Okay.
So 1 carry for no yards.
And the kickoff into the end zone and out. And again, we've got another touchback coming up, the 4th of the game for the West kicker. Well, the red and blue this year have had good success with their offense, even though they've had it a lot less time than their opponents. But they started off the year facing a very good Hinsdale Central team, but key injuries in the first half set them back, and they lost to the Red Devils. Then they beat Glenbard East, currently leading the Upstate 8 East Division, 35 to 32. The third game they beat Elgin 49-16. Then South Elgin, again catching West with some of the injuries still affecting them, took a 42-35 win. Since then they have beaten Bartlett 49-21, and they beat Ridgewood 49-0. The forfeit to Larkin, and here we are tonight where first down from the 20 is resulting in no yardage.
Well, again, Ortiz tried to come to the right side, and the linebacker pursuit was just too much, and he wasn't able to turn the corner.
So it's 2nd and 10 from the East 20, midway through our first quarter. Joseph Becker, the quarterback for East, only a junior, going to hand it off to Ortiz, and he runs into a gang of Blackhawk tacklers. All of the linebackers getting in on it, along with the defensive back coming up to help out, and the defensive line made the immediate contact. But West really gang tackles pretty well. They really fly to the ball. Call it a loss of 1 on that play, so it'll be 3rd and 11. 3rd and 11 for East, looking for their first down of the game. Becker going to retreat, look to pass, and his pass to the side, just as he's being hit, just as he released the ball. I think that was Kieran Duncan who was coming at him.
Yeah, somebody was coming down.
Defensive end for West, and goes incomplete, so it'll be 4th and 11. And again, the punter, Mr. Perez, getting his leg worked out.
They got pretty close last time about getting it.
Yeah, almost blocked it last time.
Yeah, they did. And they're coming. They got, what, 8 guys up there.
Yep. 2 men back.
Uh-oh,
there's a bad
that's
snap
not
into the end
good.
zone, and it's going to go out of the end zone, and it'll be a safety. And let's see who is the closest player for West that might get credit for that safety.
Take your pick. How about number 27? What is that, 27? No, 24. 24, Neil.
Okay. Well,
let's give it to him.
That's normally who they give credit to, the player who's the closest.
Yes, okay. Darius Stewart.
Darius Stewart, the linebacker. But it was just a snap that went way over the head of the kicker. And that's a safety, and will add 2 more points with 2 minutes 30 seconds on the clock here in the first quarter.
Well, you know what? After this kick, whatever they decide to do, place kick it or punt it, the ball's going to finally be, oh no, it's not. Where's he going to kick from, the 20?
The 20, yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, West is still going to get it in East territory.
It always helps when you can start your drive
yeah.
inside the 50.
Yeah. West players are, oh, he's going to place kick it, okay. Well, they might be. Well, they might get it in their own territory.
Perez does the place kicking as well as the punting. And the kick is going to carry back deep. Returned up the middle. Breaking 1 tackle, but being hit again at the 40 and can't drag the tacklers far enough.
Uh-oh.
Did a fumble come afterwards?
No, I'm looking at the little skirmish here between number 12 for East and 45 for West, and there's a flag there.
Let's see who it is against.
No, not yet. Could be. I got a feeling it might be offsetting again. That was Barrera for East High.
They're going to call a West player, I think, for the penalty. Well, emotions do get high in an East-West game.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going to move it back to the 49-yard line of East. Holding is the call. So it'll be 1st and 10 West Aurora at the East Aurora 49. So West bringing their offensive starters out. Tittle is flanked to the near side. They've got 3 receivers on the other side. Riley, the running back, next to Atkins. Under pressure, throws it to Riley down the near sideline, and he is hit hard near the 41-yard line, short of the first down by 2 yards.
Ivan Rivera made the tackle on the play along with Ortiz to help him out.
He flew over quickly.
Yeah, he did.
Put a good hit on the wide receiver for West, Bryce Riley. Riley is a frequent safety valve for Atkins. He's looking first for the long target. If that's not open, then he'll go to the outlet pass. Here's a run up the middle, and carrying it down inside the 35 to about the 32. An East player is down, getting up very slowly.
Number 53 for East.
Yeah, the injured player is Isaiah Fulton.
Isaiah Fulton, yeah.
defensive lineman, and the East player, along with his West counterpart, kind of shake hands when he gets up. It was just a good hard hit. So it will be first down. Did get the first down, 1st and 10. Atkins looking left. He completes it to Tittle. Tittle bounces off of a tackle. Still on his feet. Still fighting. Finally goes out of bounds inside the 20. Lesroy Tittle. Hit by Ortiz, I believe, to stop him finally, but he has another first down. Tittle has got such strength in his legs that he frequently will break tackles after his reception. They started him out as a running back, but then they moved him out wide because once he can get the ball in the open field, he's awfully tough to stop. So now Atkins has another 1st and 10. Wigwag in with signs from the sideline. They frequently will go with a no-huddle offense, not letting the defense really get set. Here's Atkins up the middle, wide open up the middle. He's to the 10, the 5, touchdown. Nobody touched him as they open up some big holes in that line. And it's another touchdown, this time by quarterback Mason Atkins. And it comes at the 1 minute 12 second mark of the first quarter.
The official on the far side of the field threw the flag. I'm not sure why. We'll see what the call is.
There was some pushing going on by a couple of linemen who got tangled up originally, but not anything that I saw that would warrant a flag. But let's see what the call is. Again, Atkins, I think, is going to get credit for the touchdown, because unless they change their minds and say that it came before he crossed the goal line.
The official's going to talk to Coach Eimer here, explain the situation.
Some of these blocks and tackles, they want to continue to make sure that they don't get away from them. So there is contact out there, but now we've got a timeout asked for by Coach Eimer, who wants to talk to his team. Apparently the official talked about how he wanted to emphasize contact after the whistle is not approved. Well, Atkins this year has had good success, Steve. He's run for a number of touchdowns on that draw play, hasn't he?
He has, and until last week, he was leading the team in rushing. But Riley, or 2 weeks ago, Riley surpassed him, but he was only 3 yards ahead of Atkins. So there is a personal foul against West. And
how far was the run by Atkins?
19 yards.
Are they going to assess it? Must be on the kickoff, huh?
Yes.
I guess. So we've got the try for the extra point, which is from the normal distance. Still in the first quarter. The West kicker, again, is getting a lot of interest from colleges. Only a junior. And he has not attempted a field goal this year, I don't believe.
Really?
Maybe one.
Wow.
They've scored at will
okay.
almost.
Yeah, I guess you don't have to.
No. Snap back. Kick is a little bit low, but it went through the uprights. And the score now moves to West Aurora 30, East Aurora nothing. And we're down to the final 72 seconds of this first quarter.
It was a 4-play, 49-yard drive, culminating with a 19-yard touchdown run by Mason Atkins.
How many plays has West run from scrimmage now, Steve? Have they hit double figures yet?
Well, they just did on that drive, yeah.
And
that was the
three rushes for 27 yards and 7 passes Atkins is 7 for 7 for 171 yards.
So they've run 10 plays.
Yes.
That's all. Well, what was that last drive? I thought you said 12. I guess not.
12 plays? No, it was 3 plays.
Oh, that was okay. Okay.
Yeah, they had a couple of passes that
Yeah.
picked up yardage. So the penalty is assessed on the kickoff, and they'll move it back to the 25. And this may be the
May break his
only
string.
time.
Yeah, it's going to break his string about kicking it to the end zone.
Well, the East receivers are standing at their own 10.
Yeah. That should be about right.
So let's see where the kick goes.
Yeah, the receivers are quite deep there.
Here's the approach. The kick, it's a low line drive kick, and he's going to bounce it on the 10 and go out of bounds. Just missed. And that's a 5-yard penalty. So it just went out of bounds before it went across the goal line.
You guys have been around the game of football for a little while. And I was talking last week, we went down to see Illinois, Ohio State. And there were a few punts, and there were a couple that would have called for a coffin corner punt.
Okay.
And I said to the guys I was with, I said, how many of you have heard that, that phrase
Sure.
lately? I haven't
not
heard
very
it for,
often, no.
I haven't heard it, period.
So they will bring it out to the 50-yard line.
So that ball went out of bounds at the 2, Neil, so almost in the end zone. And penalty against West Aurora brought it from the 40 to the 50.
For going out of bounds. It's an automatic penalty when the kickoff goes out of bounds. So it's out to the 50, and East Becker will hand it off up the middle, and Ortiz is swallowed up immediately by that West Aurora defensive line. And that time, I think Matt Gray, West linebacker, got through, number 11, to be the lead hit man.
I'm not being critical of the East Aurora or the formation, but you know, when you only got one back with the quarterback, that really obviously limits your
and they don't give you a lot of
options.
your options are very few.
No, I know that.
Again, they're going to try the right side. A nice cutback gets him across midfield into West territory, down at the maybe 48 of West. And I think this is their first possession in West territory tonight.
I think there was one time last week in watching that game, Ohio State came out of the I formation one time, a fullback and a tailback. I don't know what's wrong with that.
Well, Ortiz did pick up a couple.
Yeah, he did. That was his best run of the night.
So it's going to be
the quarter just ended.
Quarter ended. I think it'll be about 3rd and 8 when we resume play. After 2 periods, it's West Aurora 30, East Aurora nothing. Well, gentlemen, Mr. Albright, Mr. Schindel, your thoughts on that first half? First quarter, I should say.
East, the quarterback doesn't have a lot of time, but they've got to open it up a little bit. They've got to sort of swing passes and get the ball out to the outside, try to get some one-on-one situations. As the game goes on, too, because more of these players are playing both ways, that's going to wear
For East,
down.
That it does. That it does. Yeah, you're right, Coach. If a quick slant, because their linebackers are so aggressive, they are always right up there. So if you, again, here's play action, that you can freeze those guys and throw a quick slant in, that might be their best bet.
They've got 2 receivers on the left, one of whom goes in motion toward the right. And a counter play coming up now. Nice opening for Ortiz, who bursts into the secondary and gets it inside the 40, down to about the 37.
First down for East High.
And
first
there it
one
is.
Of the night,
They got
guys.
their first one.
First one.
Nice blocking by the offensive line for East.
Very, very seldom do you see a misdirection play that doesn't do well, especially at the high school level.
Especially when you've got a defense that's pursuing so quickly.
Exactly.
So it's a first down for the Tomcats at the 37-yard line. And Becker, along with Ortiz in the backfield. Becker drops to throw, throws over the middle, and it's incomplete. Over the head of his intended receiver.
Had a man wide open.
Yeah, he sure did. That's the idea, though. That's what they're going to have to do. They can complete a few passes. It's going to keep that defense a little honest instead of being so aggressive.
Javon Ingram was the intended receiver.
Yeah, he's got some good size, too.
Yeah, he's got good size.
He's 6. No, that can't be the same guy. Number 17. That was 17? No, that can't be him. He's not 5'9". No way.
Yep. Diego Velasquez was the end on the other side. So now they come back to Ortiz on the right side and try to go over right tackle and runs into stern resistance at the original line of scrimmage. Two Blackhawks made sure that he didn't pick up any yardage. So it'll be 3rd and 10 as the clock keeps moving. East came into the game 2-5.
Well, they were
West
in that
5
game.
and
They
2.
were in that game with Fenton. They were down at the end of the 3rd quarter, only 20-6. So that was, still within range of doing something. And then they probably just ran out of gas again because the number of players going both ways.
There again, the numbers very important. Here's a pass on the near flat, and it's going to lose yardage. They tried to complete it to Baez, and he was hit immediately. Pushed back to the 39, setting up a 4th and 12 situation now.
Well, East is going to go for it.
Oh,
but
not surprised.
But on the other token, I'd like to see West work from their own 10-yard line. And I think they would need that. They'd like that too, to be honest.
Coffin corner kick?
Well, coffin corner kick here, yeah, but obviously that's not in the cards.
Now they're going to go for it. An offensive movement, offensive right tackle.
Big number
pulled
77.
Away from, yeah.
Jaime Vasquez Gutierrez, 6'2", and I don't have his weight, but I'm going to guess he's pushing 3.
Very close
He's
to
a
it.
big
anyway.
kid.
Yeah,
big kid.
Very big kid. Maybe an underclassman. He was not on the original roster that we saw.
Okay.
Might have been brought
got
up.
him here. Oh, he's a senior according to the roster.
Really?
Here,
Okay.
Yeah.
Just didn't put him on the roster, I guess. All right, here we go with a 4th and about 17 to go now. Becker straight back to throw. Throws a little screen that's almost intercepted. It was knocked down by one of the 3 on-rushing defenders. Matt Gray was one of them from his linebacker spot. And it'll be West Aurora's ball because it came on 4th down. So they turn it over on the 30. I'm sorry. This will be the 43. Their own 43. And Atkins and company come out with Tittle going in the slot on the left. Riley is over on that side. Got 3 receivers over there and 2 on the near side. It's an empty backfield. East not sure how they want to cover this. One linebacker running from side to side here. Atkins looking to his right. Throws the pass. It's caught. That's Toma. And Zach Toma, the baseball pitcher in the spring, picks up good yardage, made a nice move to get free for a couple extra yards and get that first down. Pickup of about 11 or 12 yards.
I asked my daughter Laura and my son-in-law Brad. The Toma, I played Legion ball with the Toma. Jim Toma.
I remember him.
Any relation, do you know?
I think so. I'm not positive about that.
Okay.
Yeah, he is a great pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, I heard he is, and I know if he is a relation, Jim was a crafty lefty.
Yep, I remember that. And here's a pass that's completed out on the far flat, taken down to the 40-yard line. Not sure who that was for West who made the reception. Over in front of the East Aurora bench. And it was a pickup of about
It was Riley.
7. Is that Riley?
I believe so.
Okay. 2nd and maybe 4 to go for the first down. Pickup of 6. Atkins, I think, wants a different formation here. He's all by himself in an open backfield as he takes the snap here. Going to retreat. Look down the middle, throws it long. He's got a man there, and it's knocked away at the last minute by a great defensive play for East.
Ivan Rivera just broke that up. That was going to be 6.
Yeah.
Just in the nick of time, he knocked
Well, he
that
got
away.
there just perfect time.
Yes, he did.
Ball hop a little bit.
So it's 3rd down. And about 4 to go. So West receivers on top on the left. They're going to give it and try the run up the middle by Tittle, and Tittle puts his head down and gets the first down. The carry was close to the 30-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the red and blue. West leads here in the 3rd quarter, 30-0. 7 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. Atkins again out of the empty backfield. The defensive line shifting for East as Atkins comes back up near the line of scrimmage. Now he's going to go back in the shotgun formation. He's got 5 receivers, 3 on the right, 2 on the left. He's going to carry it himself. Here's Atkins down to the 25, to the 20, and he's finally tackled inside the 20 near the 16 or 17-yard line. Atkins has got very good foot speed.
He does.
So it's another first down for the red and blue.
That was Ortiz making the tackle.
He's got good speed too. A 1st and 10 for the red and blue. Atkins checks the sideline to see if they want to change the signal call. They've got 3 individuals wig-wagging signals in. Atkins quickly throwing, complete at the 10, 5, steps into the end zone, touchdown. Was that Riley, Steve? Down the far end. He had some fancy footwork.
No, I think
there.
that's Toma.
Toma.
Toma, yeah.
Number 7, yeah.
His pink socks give him away, guys.
That makes him faster, right?
It did on that play.
Yeah. So at the 5-minute, 58-second mark of the 2nd quarter, West has scored again as Atkins with another touchdown throw. And trying to add one more point to the West total. On the point after, a whistle by the officials stops action down there, and somebody may have moved. He's coming in toward the players to send somebody off. Must be an equipment malfunction. Sometimes if you don't come in with your helmet snapped up, they will send him off the field. And so now we're ready to get underway. The extra point attempt coming the south end of the field. The kick is up, and the kick is good by Soblasuski. And so as the teams come back upfield with 5:59 to play in quarter number 2, it's West Aurora 37 and East Aurora nothing. Steve, a recap on that drive.
So that was a 5-play, 57-yard drive. The touchdown was scored by Zach Toma from Mason Atkins. The extra point was good, and it is now 37-0. Still in the second quarter.
Well, last year the Blackhawks defeated East by a sizable margin. In fact, the last 12 years, I think, West has scored 40 or more points.
Yeah, there we go.
What was the score last year, Steve?
47-0.
Running clock has been in West repertoire for the last 2 years. I think they had 6 or 7 of them last year. This year we've got 3 or 4. Once you get ahead by 40 or more in the second half, they have a running clock. And the kick back to the 1-yard line is dropped on the 1, but picked up coming out on the far sideline and returning it out over the 10. And
oh, geez, we got a wrestling match going on here at about the 28-yard line.
Flag was thrown. Not sure who those 2 players were, but on special teams, some of those players don't get a lot of action. And when they do get out there, they want to give it all they've got. But one of the West players is involved in that infraction. Not sure if he's excused for the night or not, but frequently on the special teams like that, you'll have second and third teams. They're going to call it on East.
Yeah.
Well, they were rolling on the ground. That was pretty obvious after the play was
well,
long
I
and
said,
stopped.
it looked like a wrestling match. One of them had a takedown, I think.
So that will penalize them half the distance to the goal, which is not much because the line of scrimmage was out on about the 10-yard line. So it's back near the 6 now. And they're going to try Ortiz. No, they're going to
he kept
the quarterback.
Ball.
And quarterback had the ball. And let's see who they're going to give the safety to on this one.
I think he's calling it on the 1-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to put the ball down inside the 1. Tackle was made, but contact apparently was made just outside the goal line. So it's still East ball, but it's going to be back close to the goal line, and it'll be third down or second down. Second with the penalty. Yep.
Yeah.
The West marching band starting to gather on the far side. Here's Becker giving it off straight ahead, picking up maybe 2 yards.
Ortiz
out to the 3 maybe. He works hard for every yard that he gets.
He sure does.
That last series, West had the ball. I was watching Ortiz and number 58 for West, Alfonso Aguilar, who are best friends. They mentioned in the paper.
And cousins, I think.
Related to, I believe, yeah. But it was a good battle. They only got into contact once, but you can see the jabbering back and forth and that. And Ortiz is impressive. He directs everybody on defense.
He's not the biggest, but he sure, pound for pound, really packs a punch. And this time they try to get out of the end zone. West thinks they've got a safety, and I'm not sure who's going to get it. Somebody's celebrating particularly for West. And it's going to be 2 more points added on for West. So safety recorded. Is that Uni? I think it may be Kellen Uni, one of the 3 West linebackers. They take a lot of pride in their defense for West, and all 3 linebackers have been right up there in the tackle stats, but they're all so close that nobody's really emerged as the one who's going to end up with the most at the end of the year, most tackles.
Well, that's a good defense. Good defense.
So at the 4:04 mark, it could be Ellen Duncan, defensive end.
It's pretty noticeable that long blonde hair hanging out the back. He's interested in being a collegiate cheerleader.
Oh, really? Well, okay.
Yeah, Duncan, I believe, got that safety. And I read someplace where he was going to be a collegiate cheerleader.
Yeah, his mother was a cheerleader for many years, and was the coach at West High. And here's the kickoff now after the safety from the 20, and it's going to be returned out across the 50 into East territory.
Ivan Rivera, number 4 for East Aurora, has had a good game. He's been involved in a lot of those tackles and made a tackle on that kick return.
Yeah, a number of these East players have worked hard. They've been going both offensively and defensively, many of them, so they're still out there plugging away. We're still in the first half. Clock shows 3:57 to go. West now leads at 39-0. Atkins throws, and going out of bounds right after he caught it was the West receiver,
Liam Norris, a senior.
Yeah, he's played a couple of different positions for West. He was a defensive end. Now they've converted him to a pass receiver. Liam is a 6'1", 175-pound senior. Now Atkins throwing. He's got a man open at the 10, and he just overshot him. One of the few misconnections on passing. The West receivers run some good routes and have had luck getting open. That pass a little bit too far to handle to LesRoy Tittle.
Well, I'll tell you what, after watching Atkins throw the ball, I bet you there's a lot of guys on West team that want to be wide receivers.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, he's a D1 quarterback. You'd like to play with him.
That was a nice ball.
And Tittle, the real speedster, he almost caught up.
Yeah,
with
he
it.
did. He did.
Here's a quarterback up the middle on the draw, cuts it to the outside. He's to the 35, the 30, and he runs out of room at the 28-yard line. He goes out of bounds. So another first down recorded by Mason Atkins with his feet. 3:06 to go here in the first half. West Aurora leads at 39-0.
Does Atkins play anything else?
Oh, he's an outstanding baseball player.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah, has been for a couple of years a starter, and he's got to make a decision what he wants to do in college. But I think football right now is his main sport. But I think he batted 3rd or 4th in the lineup. He's a good hitter.
Okay.
Good outfielder, center fielder.
Good athlete, huh?
Oh, great athlete, yeah.
Wow.
Atkins under pressure is going to try to run out of the pocket now. He's going to keep it himself, and he goes out of bounds after a pickup of maybe 5 or 6 yards. Inside the 25, near the 24. So give him a pickup of about 4 and call it 2nd and 6. Yeah, a lot of these athletes are encouraged by West Aurora to participate in multiple sports. It keeps them sharp. They have some different muscle challenges with the different sports. It's one of the reasons West has got such a strong program in almost every sport. There's a pass. Atkins looking, and he just missed his mark. Yeah, West has had already, I think they've got 4 conference championships recorded this fall. with athletes, most of whom are multi-sport.
Yeah.
Flag football won the conference championship, made it to the sectional finals. Girls tennis just won another conference championship, the second year in a row for your daughter and my daughter.
You know all about that.
Yes, we do. And they did qualify Elena Gramusa for the state tournament next weekend.
Wow.
Here's a pass by Atkins, complete at the 13. Trying to break it is
Tittle.
Tittle at the 5, runs over 2 men, and finally is stopped just shy of the goal line near the 3 or 4 yard line. Well, the East player is very slow in getting up.
That's Rivera again. He's seen a lot of Tittle tonight.
Not afraid to stick his nose in there, is he?
Yeah, he's not only very fast, but he's got the size too. He's a big kid.
Yeah,
that's right.
Just ran over a couple guys.
He's 200 pounds, 6 foot, 200 pounds.
Uh-oh, what do we got?
Penalty?
Flag somewhere, yeah.
And after I talked up Ortiz for the last defensive plant, he hasn't been in this series.
Illegal receiver downfield.
Yeah.
So that will cost him a down, and they move it back to the 20. Near the 29 yard line. Will be third down and about 11 for the first down. The clock is at 2 minutes 38 seconds to go here in the first half. Empty backfield again for Atkins. Looks over the middle. Pressured. Runs out of trouble. Now he fakes the pass. He's inside the 20. He's to the 10. He runs out of bounds and gets it inside the 10, and that will pick up the first down. Again, Atkins using his feet when he saw that his receivers were all covered. He took it down to about the 8 yard line. Maybe the 9. Where it will be first and 10 with 2:29 on the clock. And a touchdown here would mean we're going to have a running clock probably in the second half. So Atkins trying to put his team in the end zone with Riley next to him on his left. Atkins going to reverse field and come out to the left. He looks, it's wide open. He's going to carry it himself. He's down to the 5, spins at the 4. Nice move for the 2, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown. Mason Atkins scores the touchdown, bouncing off of 3 tacklers in that run at the 2:18 mark of the quarter. Atkins does it himself. And he makes the score 45-0. And Soblazewski will try to add a PAT on that. So Warren Flatt is the snapper. Fecht is the holder. Backup quarterback. And Derek Soblazewski will be attempting to put it through the uprights here on this PAT. Snap back, place down, kick is up, and the kick is good. So he remains perfect on the night. 7 touchdowns, 7 PATs. Or, I'm sorry, 6 touchdowns. Had 2 safeties in there also. So Steve, recap that drive, please.
All right, so that drive started at the East 49 yard line. Took them. The drive started at the 49 yard line. Took the Blackhawks 8 plays to go those 49 yards. Mason Atkins scored on a 10-yard touchdown run. And it's now 46-0, approaching halftime.
So the running clock, I don't think is employed until the start of the second half.
Second half,
Yeah.
right. Start of the second half.
West Aurora marching band patiently waiting for their moment.
Blackhawks have amassed over 300 yards here in this first half.
Yeah, I want to know what the final total is of how many plays they ran to get the 46 points. And the kickoff didn't go into the end zone, and it's taken out and returned across the 30 out to about the 32.
Alejandro Cuevas on the return. Nice return.
Nice return, yep.
Right up the middle.
Very good run. We'll give the Tomcats possession for this final 2:10. So Blazewski's leg must be getting tired. He just missed.
Well, I was looking to see there's a little bit of a breeze coming out of the south, so I think that
Okay.
held the ball up a little bit.
And West is
It was a high kick, too.
kicking into it.
It got into the wind.
So Tomcats have it with Joseph Becker at quarterback, only a junior. Got some good underclassmen at East to build on in the future. And off. No, he's going to keep it and roll out to the left. He throws the pass and it's incomplete. Tried to hit his receiver, Sensenceros.
Yeah, he's just a junior, too. They started 6 juniors offensively.
And do you have a list of who those juniors are who start, Dick? We didn't get
Yes,
it
I
in
do.
the program.
Yeah, I got it. Do you want to catch it at halftime or?
Yeah.
Sure.
And here's the handoff up the middle, Ortiz.
Oh, he dropped the ball.
Dropped the ball, and let's see, I think it had blown the whistle.
I think. Where's he spotting it? No, I think that was the fumble. East had fallen on it, so.
So no gain on the play, but it will be 3rd and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 33. And a game like this, if you're a reserve, getting a chance to play in an East-West game becomes more and more of a probability.
Exactly.
And this another fumble, and at the 10-yard line, someone for West, I think, fell on it. And
Who did? Who is it?
That Tittle,
No, 25.
Liam Yingling.
Let's see. Or no. Boy, it's still hard to read that number. 95?
85.
85.
Yeah. Yeah, for West Aurora, that was, I believe, their tight end and defensive end.
Richard Bell, Jr.
Could have been Bell. Yeah,
He's 85.
Salick is 87. A little tough to see some of the numbers from this far away.
Yeah, I think it was 85.
So that'll be Richard Bell with the fumble recovery, and West is just going to take the knee now and let time expire. We're down to a minute to go. They have to do that one more time. 46-0 is the score. Well, West has 73 players on the roster. So they've had the opportunity to get many of those players in every game. They do have 6 levels of football and play a junior varsity schedule. So a lot of people get a chance to play, including sophomore B and freshman B teams. And they will take the knee, and the first half will expire. And as the teams go to the halftime break, The score is West Aurora 46, East Aurora nothing. All of the action tonight being brought to you by the Aurora ACTV folks, and we want to thank them for their assistance with working with our broadcast club kids on the camera work and production work tonight. It's a learning experience, and I know they appreciate the cooperation with the city. And also we're coming to you on the NFHS network. This is Neil Ormond along with Steve Solars, Rick Albright, and Dick Schindel from Ormond Stadium, with the Blackhawks leading here at halftime. Steve, any recap on the halftime stats before we turn it over and listen to the West Aurora marching band?
Sure. For the Blackhawks, they had dominated the first half in the stats as well. At 14 first downs. At rushing, they had 98 yards on 10 carries. Passing, they were 10 for 13, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 207 yards. They had no turnovers, 3 penalties for 35 yards. For East Aurora had -9 on the ground and 16 carries. They had 3 receptions for 9 yards. They were 3 for 9. They lost 1 fumble. That was the only turnover of the game. Penalties, they had 3 penalties for 18 yards. Individual stats for the Blackhawks. Rushing, Mason Atkins had 7 carries for 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. Leslie Tittle had 1 carry for 10 yards. And somehow I don't have anything for Riley. Passing, Atkins was 10 for 13, 207 yards, 4 touchdowns. Receiving, Tittle caught 2 for 58 and a touchdown. Riley caught 3 for 58 and a touchdown. Brendan Sala caught 2 for 55 yards and a touchdown. And Zach Toma caught 2 for 31 yards. And Liam Norris caught 1 for 5 yards. For East, Jonathan Ortiz had 12 carries for 9 yards, 1 fumble lost. Joe Becker had 1 carry for -6 yards, and an unidentified Tomcat, but had 3 carries for -12 yards. Passing, Becker was 3 for 9 yards. Receiving, Diego Vasquez caught 2 for 11. Mario Cenaceros caught 1 for -2.
All right, Steve, thank you very much for the statistics. As we go to our halftime break here, it's time for the incomparable West Aurora marching band and Rick Albright.
Strangely reminiscent, Neil. It reminds me of the most unique penalty ever in the East-West basketball or football game. They used to have both bands play at halftime. And at East Aurora, they had their program, and it might have run a little bit long. Now, West might have said, well, we'll take a couple minutes off our program. But no, they didn't do that. And the officials,
who came out of the locker room after the West band was still on the field,
threw the flag on the West Aurora band for delaying the game.
I remember that well, right here in this field. And since then, only the home team band performs.
The story behind the story.
Thank you, Rick. Some memories linger on forever. I was just thinking about that play the other day.
I think about it every halftime of the East-West football game.
Yeah. You can imagine the argument also.
When did that happen, guys?
Oh, geez, I don't know.
Probably back in the 70s or 80s.
You know, the football teams tried to take the field, but the marching band refused to yield. And that's American Pie. That's in there, yeah.
Yeah.
That triggers that song.
That's right.
Yeah, it really happened, and we will never know who was at fault.
No.
Because all we know is that West was on the field when the officials came out. No, it was a good ball game.
It was a close ball game.
Yeah.
And, of course, East blamed West and West blamed East, and
Yeah, right.
the officials called it.
That's like the stories that Steve, I'm sure, can tell us about how they canceled some games because the two sides couldn't agree on who was going to share how much of the money on the
How
the
they
gate.
were going to split the gate.
Yeah.
That's right.
So they canceled the game.
So even back then, it was all about the money, huh? Hey, Neil, before we go on, I have to tell you, I just looked at my phone, and my daughter thanked you for the heads up on the tennis, okay?
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, okay.
Did my pleasure to
Yeah, well,
be an assistant coach in the West tennis program, along with your daughter, who is one of our fine teachers from Herget Middle School. And both our varsity and junior varsity at West won the conference this fall. So both of our daughters can claim a ribbon.
there you go. That's great. Yeah, see, Laura really enjoys it, too, so
And mine does too.
excellent.
All right, let's listen now to the West Aurora Marching Band.
I'm sure you're going to hear about this, but I wanted to make sure you did. Now, I don't know if you're going to be out of town like you were last year, but it's breakfast next Saturday. Or is that the state tournament? Yeah.
That's funny. I'm good friends with both my daughters. They're good girls.
Still a rookie of the year.
Up next, we feature the Hawkettes on this team, written in 2022 by
Guess where it was Thursday night?
songwriter Harry
Band
Styles.
concert.
Senior director Noah Reeves,
4 hours.
4 hours.
Yeah, my wife decided we went and saw the younger kids' bands at the high school, and then they had these varsity bands. Let's just stay and watch it.
featuring Chris Barngrove, Senior Nadia Resnia, Kenyon Ramirez, Senior Shirley Morales, and Ava Schwiers, and Senior drum major Amalia Valdez leads the band in lead control. Final selection is from an artist with 13 Grammy Awards and a growing list with #1 hits. Lady Gaga has risen to the top of the pop music charts. Please enjoy this energetic hit release in 2025. Senior drum major Roy Ruiz leads the band in Abracadabra. the BNB on TikTok at WAHSBNB. So like and subscribe all season long.
Brought to you by the West Aurora Marching Band as they finish it up as they always do with the trombone suicide. Did you enjoy that, Dick?
I just noticed them running around over there on the 50-yard line.
Yeah. They have a lot of fun, and they are an entirely volunteer group. That's the interesting thing. They come in and practice starting early in the summer and practice on weekends. But one of 7 different bands that they have at West.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of some of the accomplishments, we earlier said that West had already won 4 conference titles in the Upstate 8 Conference now this fall, maybe 5 after this weekend. But boys golf, congratulations to them. Girls volleyball is in first place currently in their competition. Girls tennis won the conference. This was I think the 33rd time they've won the conference in the Upstate 8.
Wow.
It's really an amazing domination. In fact, the girls tennis has the best record of any sport, boys or girls, in terms of state finishes and conference finishes. Once again this year they came through and won the conference, and Elena Gramusa, as we said, qualified earlier today in the sectional. She finished 4th, and she will be performing in the state finals next weekend. We've also had boys soccer with a very successful program. I think they may be 1 game out of first place in the conference. The cross-country runners are still, their season is still going on. So football right now is 1 game behind South Elgin. I think the only possible upset could be Bartlett against South Elgin here as the season winds down. But right now, West is in 2nd place in the conference, and South Elgin is in 1st in football. We're moving closer, Steve, to the state finals in football, the playoffs that'll be announced a week from tomorrow. And West, with a win here tonight, will become not only playoff eligible, but guaranteed of a spot in the state playoffs, which would be Nate Eimer's 7th time taking a team to the state playoffs. East has won 4 berths in state playoff in their history. But Nate Eimer has really turned this program into a consistent winner. He himself was a 3-year starter for West as a great tight end. Went on and played in college at Edinburgh. Came back and coached at Oswego East, and then came over now 15 years ago. Hard to believe he's been at West that long, but wow. He's compiled quite a record, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's built quite a program with his youth football academy and so on. I see those signs up around.
That's the one that has more than 250 young kids in it, boys and girls.
Did you see that Elgin is 5-2? Actually tied with us. They're playing South Elgin tonight.
So the teams are back on the field, completing the 3-minute mandatory warm-up period. And with 46-0 lead here at halftime, there will be a running clock in the second half, or the whole half. The only way it can be stopped is with an injury or a timeout. But it will run continuously, and it'll be interesting to see. I know that Mason Atkins, the 3-year starter at quarterback, has been going for a career record passing for West. We've had some great quarterbacks at West over the years. The last one to sign and complete a scholarship at a D1 school was 1983, Jim Bennett at Illinois.
Yeah, holy cow. And
Atkins will be going to Ball State. But his total yardage, I think, is the mark that they were saying could be broken tonight. Scott Grabowski, West statistician, came down and just talking to us about it. So since West won the opening kick, East is going to kick off, and it's an onside kick, fallen upon and bobbled, and
recovered by East.
East got it. Bounced off the first West player, and who was it? 34.
Svoboda. Alexander Svoboda recovering.
Svoboda, okay.
That was a good play because down 46-0, you don't have much to lose. And they executed it perfectly. It was fallen upon by a West player, but he bobbled the ball, and Svoboda swooped in.
I was wondering if he was going to play. This is number 10, Manny Martinez. He's just a junior. And watching in warm-ups,
he's a quarterback now. And he hands it off up the middle off the left tackle spot, as West going with a few of the reserves here as we start this second quarter, or second half, I should say. So Coach Nate Eimer knows he's got a running clock coming. Also, with good sportsmanship, I don't think he wants to run up the score more than he has to. His main goal is just to get a lot of players in the ball game the second half. So Martinez, the quarterback, number 10. Going to hand it off to Ortiz off the right guard spot, going for the first down. He may come up a yard short.
Well, East High's offensive line now in these last two plays have fired off the ball pretty well. So I might imagine that West has got some reserves in there.
I'm looking at the numbers, and I think most of the players, I think almost every one of them is not one of the starters.
That explains it.
Well, yesterday the schools met because the sophomores didn't have enough. The West team offered to send their freshmen over, and it was a good ball game. West won it by a couple touchdowns using their freshman team against the freshmen and sophomores for East. And there's a line stand by West to try to keep them from going across the first down marker, and they do make the stop short by a yard. One of the East players gets up a little slowly.
Number 22, Diego Vasquez.
So it's going to be 4th and 1, and Martinez, junior quarterback, going over to the sidelines to check the signal. Ball is on the 36-yard line. They send 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left, with Ortiz in the backfield with Martinez. He gets the carry, and there's a big opening. And
Martinez is going to carry
it out. Martinez on the carry, and he's all the way down to the 10-yard line. Totally fooled me and the West defense on that one. Nice fake.
Yeah, it was. And he ran that little option. He faked to Ortiz, and everybody in the stadium, I think, thought he had the ball or was going to get the ball.
Excellent ball handling there.
So Martinez, the junior, coming in at quarterback here in the third quarter for the Tomcats.
He's got nice size. He's 6'2", okay? And like I said, when you see him, I saw him in a warm-up throwing the football. I'd like to see him here in the game situation to see what he can do. Obviously, a nice run that time.
So it's a 1st and 10 for East. And that time I think Martinez may have drawn West off sides, or did somebody for East move?
Did they throw the flag?
They did.
Oh, okay.
It's against the West, it looks like.
Yep.
5-yard walk-off. We'll move it down to the 5-yard line. So it'll be 1st and about 4.5 to go for the first down. They can get a first down and not go across the goal line. Martinez handing it off Ortiz on the counter play off the left guard. And he picks up 2 yards maybe down to about the 3.5.
Big number 74 dragging him down.
Mr. Albright's job will be the second half to pick up all these reserves that are playing for
That was
West.
Juan Rodriguez, number 74, 285. Caught him from behind.
Yeah, he's
and held on.
big kid, senior.
So second and about 3 for the first down. And here's Martinez, another great fake. He's into the end zone. Touchdown for East. They faked the handoff to Ortiz, and again Martinez with a nice ball handling fake.
He did, and you know what though? He's going to learn something on that play because he was celebrating.
Yeah, I was going to
Just
say, he celebrated a
before
little early.
He was crossing the goal line, and that's a big no-no. And I'm sure Coach, if he doesn't tell him tonight, when they see the film, he's going to tell him.
So at the 7:05 mark of the third quarter, East has scored their first touchdown. And Perez is on to attempt the extra point. It's a high snap. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Nice job by the holder to get that ball down. And as the teams come back upfield, 7:05 on the clock, and it's a running clock, remember, this whole second half. But the touchdown run by Martinez gives East their first TD.
All right, so following the onside kick on the opening kickoff.
Well, do they onside kick again?
I don't know. Recovered by.
Sure, why not?
I would.
Why not?
Maybe West will fumble again.
So that was a three-play, 36-yard drive, resulting in East Aurora touchdown, 46-7 in the third quarter.
Will Atkins continue to play, you think?
I don't think so.
Oh,
We'll see, but I think Nate is thinking, number one, about playing as many kids as he can.
Well, that, and yes, I mean, you don't want something weird happening.
Yes,
For sure.
I see some new kids on this kickoff return unit. It is another onside kick. Across the 30, it's picked up and returned out across the 35. And for West, I think that was number 13. With the return.
Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson is the second team wide receiver.
Yeah, he's got a second offense in there.
Yep.
Who is the backup quarterback?
Well, it changed in the last week or two.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure who he's going with tonight, but he moved a junior. I think Rodriguez is his name. And I think that's who that is.
Number 30. Yeah, number 30. Anthony Rosales.
Anthony Rosales, a 6 foot, 195-pound junior. Now running at quarterback. Tyler Fecht had been the backup quarterback. He holds on the extra points, but Rosales has looked good in JV games, and so he's getting the second team role tonight. Pickup of 2 on that last play. 2nd and 8 the situation.
Out of the wing. Oh, no.
Oh, a fumble. Fallen upon very quickly by the West ball carrier.
That was Roundy. Didn't quite get the handoff.
Roundy was a running back last year. He, in fact, was captain in the East-West game because of his play as a junior running back. This year, he's been totally defensive end and defensive tackle. So it'll be 3rd and 10. Loss of 1 or 2 on that fumble. We're down to under 5 minutes to play now in the third quarter.
Yeah, there it is. Oh,
another fumble.
That ball popped right up.
East got
Number 53 for East High recovered the fumble. And I don't have a 53.
So East has recovered the fumble. It's the second fumble recovery for East in the game.
But you see what they were going to run, Neil? They're going to run that old counter play with the wingman.
That's what I thought
exactly
it looked like.
what it was.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
But they were unable to execute it the way that the West coaches had drawn it up. Nate Eimer's got a great staff. He's got 22 people, and about half of them are volunteers.
Wow.
And former alumni who have come back. The 22 coaches really helps them. You can give a lot more special attention
Oh, you
when
bet.
you've got that many for 73 players. Now the two teams are pointing at each other. Who moved first is the
This
question.
official down here is calling illegal procedure on East.
Yeah, it'll be a 5-yard walk-off for the Tomcats. So they have the ball, 1st and 15 now in West Territory on the 43.
He's gonna fake that dive to Ortiz, and he's gonna throw the ball.
Well, he's got Ingram out on the left
not
flat.
yet. There he goes.
Ortiz was the ball carrier. Setting up, I think, what you were just talking about.
Yeah, I can see it coming.
You know, Dick, as a former head coach of the Tomcats, you have an extra special eye to focus on what is shown and not shown.
Well,
What play's coming up?
You know, after years of watching football and tendencies, no matter what
What
the
were the
teams
years
are.
that you were the head coach?
I was head coach for 5 years, 83 to
And
87.
the assistant. In addition to that, here's Ortiz on the right
the
side.
face mask.
He's spun around, and they're going to call
they?
the face mask on the West defender.
I don't see a flag.
I don't see a flag
I
either.
thought I saw a flag. Or was it a beanbag?
Well, I can't see
I
that.
thought it came out right as he responded. Two officials are now talking to each other, and I think they are going to rule the face mask. Yeah, that was pretty obvious from up here.
Sure was.
Yeah, personal foul for a face mask pull. Inadvertent, but it was still a pull.
Oh, he did. He did throw the flag.
Yeah, I did.
Somehow it was against West.
Well, it was West who.
That was a face mask
yeah,
call
face
on
mask call against
Ortiz.
West.
I didn't see it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I saw the flag and I saw the face mask.
I saw his
Pretty
head
obvious.
spin in the opposite direction.
Yeah. So it'll be a 15-yard penalty, moving it inside the 25, down to about the 24. 1st and 10 to go for East.
There it is.
Here's the pass coming up you were talking about after they faked to Ortiz.
Yeah.
Completed the pass inside the 20 down to about the 15-yard line.
Nothing against Joe Becker, obviously, because he's been the leader on the team. And but you know what? In a situation like this, the score as it is, Martinez is also a junior. And I don't know what happens in practice each week and each day, but that's obviously very important. But I think you need to give a young man like this an opportunity, and he's showing quite well for himself.
Yeah, he completed the pass to Ingram
My goodness.
for the 1st down. They set that up nicely. The fake to Ortiz that time, and the pass by Martinez. So the snap back, and Ortiz maybe took a direct snap back.
He handed it to Ortiz. You know what? It's kind of fun now watching this because Ortiz obviously couldn't do anything in the first half, and that was the result of West's defense.
Yeah.
Defensive line and linebackers just shut it down, but now Ortiz has got some running room, and you can see he likes to run the football. He's a tough little guy.
2nd and 8. Martinez, and
Jeez, but
do we have another flag?
the official threw 2 flags.
Into the line of scrimmage before the snap of the ball. Not sure if somebody
He
moved.
called it on East this time.
Yeah, well, the quarter has come to a close also. So we'll change ends of the field. And at the end of 3 periods, the score, West 46, East 7.
You got a love running clock.
Well, the IHSA, whenever they implemented that rule, that made total sense, okay? I mean, the only negative is that, you know, other kids aren't getting playing time where they would have. But from the standpoint, you're not going to really prove that much, or you definitely don't want to embarrass other teams, that's for sure.
I also think that over the years, the gap between the haves and the have-nots has really increased.
Yes. Well, you see it in the conference here this year.
Yeah, exactly, Neil.
Teams like Larkin and East, and injuries and low turnout.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Larkin was going to have to forfeit again. They forfeited to West last week because they didn't have enough players. Injuries and ineligibilities.
Well, they had Elgin tonight because it was a rivalry week.
Yeah, I think they'll find players one way or another. But they didn't have enough last week. They said we'd have to play our freshmen if we scheduled a game, and I'm not sure.
No.
It was more than injuries. It was some ineligibilities that added to their total.
I thought Elgin was playing South Elgin.
Oh, maybe you're right. You're right. You're right, they are.
So East now, Martinez at quarterback gets to Ortiz, and he's hit quickly before he got back to the line of scrimmage. Lost a little bit, back to the 19. So we're early in the fourth quarter with a running clock. This is the fourth time this year that West has enjoyed a running clock in the second half.
It's also the 13th game in a row, East-West game, that has had, well, that West has scored over 40 points.
Right.
Wow.
So now the second and third teamers are on to finish it off for West, as Martinez with a nice fake throws a pass, and it is incomplete. He does have a good arm and a nice fake also. He's a good ball handler. So Coach Kukoc has got some talent to build with next year. He was a great player himself. I recall at Naperville Central, I think it was, and then North Central.
I think he was a few yards away from some record, and he didn't get it. And I'm not sure the whole situation, but oh, look, East is going to try a field goal.
They're going to try a field goal. They'll put it down on the 25. Perez, the kicker, will be attempting a 35-yard field goal on fourth down. There's the snap back. The kick is up, and it's going to be off to the left and unsuccessful. So West has held. They'll take over at the line of scrimmage where that drive ended. And again, more chance for more players to see action tonight as we're into the fourth quarter with 10 minutes and ticking on the clock. Next week, the last regular season game of the year, West will be traveling to Streamwood. Streamwood's got a couple of wins this year, so it was envisioned that it would not be a pushover. But then the playoffs will be determined a week from tomorrow. And West, with this win, will assure themselves of a state berth. Here's a running play around the right side and getting loose for a big gainer. Is that Matthew Johnson,
coaches,
junior receiver?
What's that word? Huh?
First down for West Aurora.
Okay, I get it. Okay. That's cool.
37-yard line is where West has it now. They scored on the first play of the game. They scored on the fourth play of the game. And it's never really been a contest since then. Here's a pitch around this side, trying to turn the corner unsuccessfully. Was the West running back. Was that
number 44? That's Svoboda for East. He closed the gap pretty quick there.
Oh, he sure did. Didn't allow the runner to turn that corner. I think that may have been Yingling for West.
He's just a sophomore.
As I said, they've got some good underclass talent coming back.
He's 5'7". You know, he's one of those kids that you had a lot of 5'7", 5'8" kids. You wish they were 6'1".
Right. 2nd and 15. Here's a counter play up the middle, and he's knocked down at about the 42. Going to be shy of the first down by about 5 yards, 4 or 5 yards. But a nice run. East goes quickly. You got to give credit to a lot of the Tomcats who are going both ways, both offensively and defensively tonight. With only 34 men on the roster compared to West 73. They've got a big task tonight. So West now will hand it off around the right side. Running into stern resistance, but breaking the tackle. Still on his feet.
Oh, my goodness.
Off to the races at the 40. Inside the 40 to the 30, and he got down to the 21-yard line before he's tackled from behind.
Ulysses Barrera for East Aurora saved that touchdown because he was off to the races.
I think that may have been
Yingling again.
Yingling, yeah. Liam Yingling is a 5'9", 170-pound senior. Hasn't played a lot, but when he has, he's done well, just as he did on that play. Again, West has run so few plays this year with all of their strike like lightning offense.
That was give him 35 yards on that carry.
Yeah. Did get a good job breaking the tackle near the line of scrimmage. And so they've got a 1st and 10 near the 22. Again, mingling around the right side, and he's hauled down from behind at about the 16, and they throw the flag on one of the players, a defensive back for East, who's not happy about the way this game has been progressing. I'm guessing it's against East. The West player trying to just get away from him, and he is now going to be excused from the game, the East player. I think that's Juan Rivera.
It is. That's his second one, so that's why he's gone.
So that penalty will move the ball down to the 8-yard line. This time they'll try the right side, and the ball carrier knocked down very quickly. Number 13 for West, the running back spot.
Johnson, Matthew Johnson.
Yep. Knocked down for a loss of a couple. He's back on the 12-yard line where that tackle was made. Now the running clock has it down to 4:20. And Anthony Rosales finishing it off at quarterback this second half. He's gone all the way. Rosales going to give it off on the near side. He's sprinting down to the 5. And it'll make it a 3rd down. 3rd and goal from the 6. And we got a timeout, I think, to stop the clock, called by East. So East wants to talk about it with 3:33 to go. They want to get the ball back and have a chance to see what they can do about advancing it, no matter what West does. Well, this win will put West up at 6 wins for the season. They'll be 6-2 and a guaranteed berth in the playoffs again. Steve, this continues a streak now that they've been going through with Coach Heimer in the last 6 or 7 years.
Well, no, since they got back in the Upstate 8, they did not make the playoffs.
That's right.
When they were in the Southwest Prairie. So it's 2 years in a row.
Assuming they beat Streamwood next week, West Aurora, does that increase their chances of getting a home field game?
Yeah, right now, assuming that they were going to win these last 2, some newspaper people are saying it looks like they'll be like a 14-16 seed. But you've got to be top 16 to have a home game. So the likelihood would certainly continue there. And now East just making the tackle behind the line of scrimmage sets up a 4th down. West really not making any attempt to put it in the air, and ran it down to the 6-yard line. So 4th down and goal from the 7. Again, the clock moving inside 3 minutes now. Blackhawks have given a lot of players an opportunity tonight. I would imagine most, if not all, of the East players have gotten in also, and they can say someday to their children and grandchildren that they played in an East-West game. And now he's going to take a knee, or is there too much time? Yeah, too much time.
No.
And the clock will keep on rolling. So it's 46-7. And it's been this way most of the second half as West has taken all of their starters out.
It's only their second possession, really.
Yeah, they really haven't had it that much. East was able to move with a backup quarterback shining. I'm impressed with Martinez and his running and faking ability. So on 4th down and 11, they're going to hand it off to somebody who's hit in the backfield, and it will be East Aurora's ball.
Number 4 on that carry. They ran the little counter play again. And
I think they just are wanting to get this game over with as soon as they can. So East brings the team out on the field with a minute to go, as West is on their way to victory number 6 this season, and number 20 in a row, I think it would be, against East Aurora. Martinez going to hand it off straight ahead, and Ortiz hit in the backfield by one of the West linemen before he could get started. Actually lost a yard or so. And with 30 seconds to go, time for maybe one play.
one more play.
And he says, no thanks. We're going to walk it off and shake hands.
Yep.
And the ball game will be over with the score: West Aurora 46, East Aurora 7. Another East-West battle is in the books now. West scored quickly. In that first couple minutes, they had some great success. Opened up scoring on the first play they tried, a 49-yard pass from Atkins to Tittle. And then at the 6:28 mark, when they got their hands on the ball again, they took only 3 plays to score. This time Riley on a pass from Atkins, and that made it 14-0 after successful PATs on every one of his tries by Derek Zabluski. They scored again in the first quarter at the 6-minute mark on a 36-yard scamper by Riley. And 2 more touchdowns ensued in that first quarter. 2 more scores. One was a safety where the snap went out of the end zone. And at the 1:12 mark, a 19-yard play for a run by Atkins made the score at the quarter 30-0 in favor of West. In the second quarter, the Blackhawks scored 3 times on another safety, and Atkins completed 2 more touchdown passes. The second one was a 10-yard strike, and it was 46-0 at the halftime break. And then in the second half, with a running clock at the start of the period, the only scores in the second half came by East Aurora against the West Aurora second team. They moved the ball well with a junior quarterback, Martinez, coming in, and he scored on a 31-yard scamper after a nice fake to running back Ortiz. And Perez's extra point made it a 46-7 score. And that's the way it all ended here. So, Steve, any statistics?
So, yes, I did get the stats from Scott Rabowski. For West, Blackhawks had 17 first downs. They had 201 yards rushing on 23 carries, 154 yards passing on 10 of 13. They had 4 passing touchdowns and 1 turnover with a fumble in the second half. Blackhawks were penalized 6 times for 65 yards. For East, they had 6 first downs and 25 yards rushing on 28 carries. They had 24 yards passing on 4 of 11 pass attempts. They fumbled twice, lost 1. They had 6 penalties for 41 yards. Individual stats: Mason Atkins has 7 carries for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns. Liam Yingling had 5 carries for 51 yards. Antonio Higgins had 2 carries for 44 yards. Not sure if that was early Bryce Riley, 8 or 9, maybe they couldn't tell them apart. Matt Johnson had 2 carries for 13 yards. The unnamed West Aurora player number 4 had 3 carries for 10 yards. Lesroy Tittle 1 carry for 9 yards. James Roundy 2 carries for -2 yards, and Emerson Lockenberg 1 carry for -5 yards. Passing, Atkins was 10 for 13, 154 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Receiving, Tittle had 2 receptions for 58 yards and a touchdown. Brendan Selleck had 2 for 45 and a touchdown. Zach Toma had 2 for 28 yards and a touchdown. Antonio Higgins had 2 for 10 yards and a touchdown. Bryce Riley had 1 for 8 yards and a touchdown. And Liam Norris had 1 catch for 5 yards. For East, Number 10 for East had 3 carries for 31 yards and a touchdown. Jonathan Ortiz had 22 carries for 13 yards. East number 3 had 1 carry for -7 yards. And East number 2 had 2 carries for -12 yards. sorry, the stats do not have any names with these numbers. So
I think they probably were not in the program. Might have been some lower levels
hard
kids
to say,
that were brought up.
Yeah. So Martinez was 1 for 2 for 15 yards passing. And that's about it here.
Okay, well, we certainly want to thank all of the folks who made this possible. Our broadcast club of West Aurora, the students who've been working with us all year long. We certainly appreciate their work under Sean Tate, their advisor. And interestingly, one of the camera people tonight was, we talked about the tie of generations from both schools, but one of the cameramen tonight for us has been Bella Platt. And the Platt family had been long supporters. Her father, grandfather, and lots of uncles and cousins went to East.
Yes.
And Bella's now at West.
Yes.
Yeah. And we thank her for her work tonight also. Also thanks to the crew down at the ACTV station. This has been a simulcast production, and we want to thank Matt Withers. Matt and his crew did a great job tonight helping, number one, help talk to the students, and also working the cameras tonight and helping with the production. We certainly appreciate their help and hope that this is the first of many ACTV simulcasts that we can work out. We certainly appreciate the partnership. And I want to thank, speaking of partners, my colleagues tonight who've been very helpful. Dick Schindel, the veteran player, coach, and radio broadcaster. And Dick Schindel, we certainly appreciate your help tonight a lot.
Well, as I said before, Neil, I greatly appreciate the invitation to be here with you. And it's always a pleasure, always a lot of fun. And my first chance to see West Aurora this year, and they're a good football team. I wish them the best of luck now, the rest of the season. So I know you guys will do your part and your best to bring them home. Okay?
And hopefully we get a home game in the first postseason, in which case we will be back here.
There you go.
At Zimmerman Stadium, Ormond Stadium at Zimmerman Field to broadcast that. And Rick Albright, my goodness, how many years have you been working East-West football and coaching yourself, and most recently receiving a well-deserved honor with the naming of the gymnasium at Jefferson Middle School for Rick Albright. Well-deserved.
Well, I'm humbled, and that was totally unexpected, Neil. And to all my friends at Jefferson, I thank them for that. And I owe a lot to District 129, and I don't know how many years I've seen East-West games, but I don't have fingers and toes enough to count them. I know
more than 50. I know for sure, because I was with you.
And it's always a thrill and a pleasure to work alongside Coach Schindel.
I agree.
My pleasure, guys.
Okay, and Steve Solars, hopefully we've got a postseason game back here in 2 weeks that you and I can work together again.
That would be nice.
Any final comments on tonight's action? Do you have another chapter now to put in your book?
Yeah, it's been 12 or 13 years now. It's maybe time to think about updating that.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
you say that they've got a new supply of books down at the Historical
They
Society?
do, so
Good.
I guess I don't have to update it for a while.
Well, keep the numbers intact, though, because someday we'll put them to good use.
Yeah.
Well, thanks to all of the West Aurora officials for their accommodations here. And right now, to the tunes of the West Aurora alma mater by the West Student Body nearby, this is Neil Ormond on behalf of our crew here tonight saying thanks for being with us, fans. This has been an ACTV and a West Aurora NFHS sports broadcast. Good night, everybody.